Have you ever felt fear's icy fingers wrap around your heart just as a new year dawns, whispering doubts that turn fresh possibilities into familiar traps? What if 2025 brings more loss, more rejection, more proof you're not ready? It's that paralyzing chill, freezing your steps before you've even begun. But imagine shattering it in seconds with a choice so simple, so powerful, it rewires your entire reality. What if love wasn't the opposite of fear, but the key to dissolving it completely? Stay with me, your moments from discovering how. That chill doesn't have to linger into 2025. Picture instead a year where love flows freely, fear fading like mist under morning sun, leaving you bold, connected, alive. But how does that shift happen? And what if it's easier than you think, hidden in 5 everyday choices that could change everything by tomorrow? Let's uncover those secrets together, one heart opening step at a time. As the calendar flips to 2025 with its blank pages promising reinvention and renewal, fear often stands guard at the gate, dressed in disguises of caution and wisdom. Don't risk that dream. It's safer to stay small or loved too deeply, and you'll get hurt again, turning what could be a year of expansion into one of contraction. Where opportunities knock, but you hesitate to answer, connections beckon, but you hold back, and the quiet voice of your soul grows fainter under the weight of what ifs. We've all met this gatekeeper at thresholds like this, in varying intensities. That subtle tightening in the chest when change looms, the mind racing ahead to paint worst case canvases, leaving joy as a distant visitor rather than the host of your days. It's not a flaw or failure. It's a human echo born from past stings or the world's relentless uncertainties, reminding you of vulnerability's edge. But here's the luminous truth that shifts the entire story. Fear isn't your destiny or an unbeatable foe. It's a choice, a temporary veil you can lift with intention. And love is the radiant light waiting on the other side, ready to flood your 2025 with abundance, courage, and connections that feel like coming home. Wayne Dyer illuminated this with such clarity and warmth. When you choose love over fear, you choose abundance over scarcity, freedom over chains. Not as a lofty philosophy to ponder from afar, but as a practical, heart-led path to live boldly, where fear's freeze thaws into love's flow, and every day becomes an invitation to thrive. Today, over this full 45 minutes of shared exploration, we're delving into his 5 timeless ways to make that choice, not as abstract ideals to aspire to in some perfect future, but as gentle, doable practices woven into the fabric of your everyday, designed to cut through doubt's fog and reveal the love that's always been your natural state. These ways: cultivating awareness to spot fear's entry, embracing surrender to loosen its hold, aligning with love's frequency for steady guidance, acting from compassion to bridge divides, and embodying fearless joy as your default. Draw from his profound wisdom. infused with stories that echo the human heart, reflections to turn over like smooth pebbles in a stream, and simple moments to try right here, right now, so that by the end, you'll feel a spark of courage igniting, a softening where tension once ruled, and a quiet readiness to greet 2025 with open arms and an open heart. Find a comfortable spot where you can settle without the world's pull. Perhaps light a candle to symbolize the light we're calling in, or place a hand on your heart to feel its steady, loving beat. Breathe deep into your belly where fear often hides, and let's walk this path together, one empowering way at a time, with grace and curiosity lighting every step. You're worthy of this fearless year. Love is already yours. Ready? Breathe in possibility. Exhale fear. And let's begin with way one. Before we ease into the ways themselves, let's ground ourselves in a vivid, heartfelt picture of what choosing love over fear truly means. Because without feeling its essence in our bones, the practices might feel like steps on a path without a destination, rather than the transformative journey they are. Imagine fear like a locked door you've paced before for years, its heavy wood scarred from past knocks, key dangling from your hand, but hesitation rooting your feet. Beyond it, love's warm room glows invitingly, filled with soft light that dances on walls painted in hues of connection and growth. Shelves lined with books of shared stories, windows open to a horizon of endless possibility, and a table set for souls like yours, ready to gather in trust and tenderness. You've lingered at that threshold before, haven't you? The pull of the known safe side warring with the call of the vibrant unknown. Fear's voice murmuring, stay here, it's certain, while love's gentle song hums, come, expand, be free. Fear contracts everything it touches, shrinking dreams to whispers, relationships to guarded exchanges, days to mere survival. It's the ego's ancient protector, well-meaning but misguided, building walls from bricks of past hurts to shield you from more. Love, in contrast, expands like dawn breaking over a vast ocean, dissolving boundaries, healing divides, inviting you to dive deep into abundance where scarcity once ruled, freedom where chains rusted, and joy that bubbles up unbidden, shared freely because there's more than enough to go around. Choosing love over fear isn't a one-time heroic act or a switch flipped in enlightenment's glare. It's a series of small, courageous decisions, a daily returning to the heart's wisdom, where fears freeze thaws into flow. And 2025 becomes not a year of enduring, but of thriving, of risks that bloom into rewards, connections that nourish the soul, and a sense of purpose that feels like wings unfolding after long confinement. These 5 ways are your gentle guides, handed down from a well of wisdom that has lit paths for countless wanderers. The first cultivates awareness to spot fear's subtle entry before it builds walls. The second embraces surrender to loosen its unyielding hold. The third aligns you with love's steady frequency, for unshakable guidance. The fourth calls you to act from compassion, bridging what fear divides, and the fifth invites you to embody fearless joy as your natural way of being, making love the default rhythm of your days. We'll explore each with the tenderness it deserves, lingering in stories that mirror the human experience, perhaps stirring echoes of your own, woven with reflections to ponder like stars emerging at dusk, and simple practices to weave into your now. So healing and empowerment aren't distant goals, but unfolding presences you can touch today. Feel the invitation settling now, like a warm shawl draped over shoulders long tense. There's no rush to get it right, no perfection demanded, only your willingness to show up with an open heart, curious and kind. Place a hand on your chest if it feels right. Breathe in the light of what's possible. Exhale the shadow of not yet. You're held in this moment, in the gentle current of all that supports your becoming. Ready for way one? Let's step through that door together, with love leading the way. Way 14, Cultivate Awareness. Spot fear's subtle entry to choose love's light, turning the unconscious whirl into a conscious choice that shifts everything in an instant. This is where the path truly opens, the first gentle parting of fear's fog, because fear thrives most in the shadows of unawareness, slipping in uninvited as a what if here or a tightening there, building to a crescendo before you even notice its approach. What if 2025 repeats last year's heart itches? Or what if I'm not strong enough for this change? Pulling you under like a riptide until the love waiting just beneath feels miles away. But awareness brings the soft glow of a lantern in the night, illuminating those entries without blame or battle, allowing you to see fear for what it is, a passing visitor, not the host of your home. It's not about dissecting every fear with a surgeon's precision or labeling it wrong to banish it. It's a simple, compassionate noticing. Ah, there's the flutter in my stomach again, carrying a thought of uncertainty like a leaf on wind, creating space in that very moment for love to rise, warm and steady, whispering, I see you fear, but I choose the light instead. Awareness invites you to step back to the quiet watcher within, the vast presence that observes without being swept away, the steady ocean holding the waves of emotion without drowning in them. In a season when fear became my unwelcome roommate, triggered by a cascade of shifts, a relocation that uprooted routines, work demands that left no room for breath, relationships tested by distance, I found myself reacting more than responding, snapping at small things, withdrawing from joys that once lit me up, until one crisp winter morning, standing at the window with snow falling like silent confessions, I chose awareness over the spiral. Observe this, tightness in the throat, mind racing to what if I can't adapt, naming it without story, without the urge to fix or flee. Something shifted. The wave crested but didn't crash me. It passed, leaving a quiet pool of calm where I'd braced for chaos. That simple act cracked open a door I'd overlooked, leading to mornings where I greet fear like an old acquaintance. Hello, what message do you bring today? And watch it come and go, lighter each time, making space for love's bolder voice. Step forward anyway. The path is lit. Let's make this real for you now, in the sacred pause we've carved together. If you're in a space where you can close your eyes or soften your gaze, letting the room around you blur into gentle focus. Breathe 3 times slowly, deeply, inhaling cool air that fills your belly, then chest, holding for a count of 4 to feel the fullness. Exhaling warmth and tension for 6, releasing what clings. Now, scan your body from head to toe, noticing without changing or judging. Any flutter, heaviness, warmth. Name it softly, like greeting a bird on your sill. There's a buzz in my thoughts, a squeeze in my chest. If a fear story arises, this means 2025 will be hard. Note it too, then return to sensation. Just the buzz, just the squeeze. Stay with it for 30 seconds, or a minute if the moment calls. Feel the space growing between you and the feeling, the watcher emerging, vast and kind, holding it all without effort. That's Way One's quiet power. Awareness as the first breath of freedom, turning fear's subtle entry visible, choosable, ready for love's light to shine through. Let's linger here a bit more, allowing the practice to deepen its roots, because awareness has layers like a pearl forming around grit, each one revealing more of the love core beneath. Reflect on a recent fear entry, perhaps a conversation where doubt crept in, or a decision where hesitation stalled your step. What if, next time, you paused for this noticing? Journal if it feels right. When fear enters as high sensation, I observe by how, and love responds with he blank. Over days, this builds a muscle of presence, where fear arrives less stealthily, and when it does, it's a teacher rather than a thief, pointing to boundaries needing voice, needs craving care, truths longing to be lived from love's perspective. In that winter morning, awareness led to a small but profound change. I started beginning days with a body scan, noting fears without story, and the year unfolded with more grace. Connections deepened in my grounded presence. Risks felt like adventures rather than threats. You're cultivating that now, with every breath of seeing. Who's feeling the space open? Comment below if a sensation arose. My awareness notice. Blank. Your sharing creates ripples of light for us all. As observation blooms like a flower turning to sun, we'll flow into Way 2, where surrender becomes the next tender unfurling. With awareness as your steady lantern, illuminating fear's paths without casting harsh shadows, we step softly into Way 2. Embrace surrender. Let go of fear's desperate control for love's trusting flow, allowing the greater rhythm of life to carry you with grace, rather than gripping every branch in the rapids. This way is the exhale after awareness's inhale, the opening of hands that have clenched too long, because fear often poses as a vigilant guardian. If I hold tight enough, plan every detail, brace for every twist. I'll keep the disaster at bay. But in truth, it's the very clutching that stirs the waters into turmoil, turning gentle currents into crashing waves that exhaust you before the shore even appears. Surrender isn't about waving a white flag in defeat or abandoning all care to fate's whims. It's a profound act of trust, a loving hand extended to the unseen wisdom weaving the tapestry of your days, whispering, "I can't orchestrate it all. And that's not my burden. Something vaster is holding this with care." It's the art of saying, "This fear is here, and I allow it to be," without my stories amplifying it into catastrophe. Watching the tangle slacken as you stop pulling, the vine retreat as you cease the struggle, making room for love's steady current to guide you forward. Surrender invites a faith that's quiet and deep, not the flashy optimism of everything will be perfect, but a calm confidence in the support that cradles every stumble, every unknown, reminding you that the river always finds its way to the sea, carving beauty through rocks and bends alike. I recall a time when control became my silent creed, triggered by a series of upheavals, a sudden relocation that uprooted familiar soil, work demands that left no space for rest, relationships tested by distances both physical and emotional, until the weight of trying to steer it all bent me low, exhaustion settling like dust on every surface. One crisp autumn morning, raking leaves in the yard as if I could order the chaos into neat piles, I chose surrender over the usual spiral of fix it, force it, figure it out. I released the outcome of this uncertainty to love's greater wisdom. I trust the unfolding, even if the path curves beyond my sight. It wasn't a dramatic breakthrough. No skies parting or angels singing. But the tightness in my jaw eased like a knot finally worked loose. My breath deepened into the cool air, and a small synchronicity appeared unbidden. A book on my shelf, unread for months, fell open to a passage about surrender's quiet power, its words landing like old friends I'd forgotten I had. From that morning, surrender became a daily whisper. Affirmations like, "I let go of what I can't shape," embracing what love reveals. And slowly, the river carried me with unexpected gentleness. New paths opened where I'd seen only dead ends, connections mended in ways force never could. Resilience bloomed like wildflowers in cracked pavement where fear had once sown barrenness. Let's invite this embrace now. In the unhurried space we've nurtured together, sit or stand with ease, if you can, feet connected to the earth like roots drawing quiet strength, hands open in your lap or at your sides, palms upturned in the gesture of receiving. Breathe in the illusion of control, that familiar tight fist in your mind or body. Hold it for a count of 3, feeling its shape, its weight, without judgment. Now, exhale surrender, visualizing it as smoke drifting upward on a soft breeze, light as a feather, saying softly to yourself or in the silence of your heart, I release what I cannot hold. I trust love's greater flow to guide me. Repeat 3 times, each exhale longer, slower, more complete. Feel the shoulders drop like leaves in fall, the jaw soften as if unburdened, the mind quiet to a gentle murmur. Stay with it for a minute, noticing what arises in the space. Perhaps a specific fear surfacing to be released, or simply the vastness of openness, kind and welcoming. That's Way 2's tender gift. The storm passing not because you wrestled it to submission, but because you allowed it to move through you, leaving the waters still and clear once more. Let's deepen this a touch, peeling back the layers of what surrender truly asks of us, because it's not always a smooth glide. The mind often rebels with its chorus of "but what if I let go and it all unravels?" That's the old protector speaking, clinging to the illusion of certainty more fiercely than the known pains of holding on. Reflect on a time when gripping amplified the turmoil, perhaps a relationship where forcing closeness only widened the chasm, or a project where overplanning strangled the spark of creativity, leaving you more drained than done. What if, in that moment, a small surrender had shifted the current? Journal if the moment calls to you. The control I'm embracing surrender for is shoe blank, and in its place, love invites shoe blank. Over the coming days, this builds a rhythm of trust. Whispered affirmations before stepping into the day's flow. Breath pauses when the grip tightens, turning surrender from a momentary act to a habitual grace. Fear from a relentless captor to a fleeting companion that arrives, teaches, and departs without fanfare. In that autumn morning of raking leaves, surrender led to unexpected blooms that I couldn't have orchestrated. A casual conversation with a neighbor sparked a collaboration that nourished my creative soul. Health steadied in rhythm's force never could impose, and rest became a refuge rather than a reward for exhaustion. You're stepping into that grace now, with every exhale offering itself to the flow. Who's feeling the loosening, the subtle lift? Comment below if a release surfaced in this moment. Surrendering high blank to love's flow. Your vulnerability becomes a bridge for ours, creating a collective current of ease that carries us all a little lighter. As the grip softens and space opens wide like a canvas awaiting its first stroke, we'll flow onward to Way 3, where alignment calls us to tune our hearts to love's eternal frequency. Release creates that precious, expansive space, a pause in fear's relentless rhythm, where the air feels lighter, the horizon stretches further into possibility. From this openness, we step with tender curiosity into Way 3. Align with love's frequency. Tune to the heart's quiet wisdom over fear's noisy static, allowing love's steady vibration to become your guiding note, harmonizing the discord within and without. This way is the soul's recalibration, the recognition that fear divides and isolates, pulling you into the smallness of me against the world, while love connects and expands, weaving you back into the grand tapestry of existence, where you're never truly alone, always held in an unseen symphony of support. Alignment isn't about forcing a positive spin or willing away the static. It's a gentle returning, a listening in the silence between thoughts. What would love choose here in this moment of uncertainty? Letting that frequency rise like a clear tone amid a chorus, drowning out fear's dissonance with its resonant truth. It's the shift from reacting in contraction to responding in expansion, where love's energy, warm, inclusive, courageous, becomes the default, guiding decisions, words, and actions with an ease that feels like coming home to yourself. To practice, carve pockets of stillness throughout your day. 5 minutes at dawn's first light, or whenever the static swells. Sit with comfort, spine soft yet open like a reed in the wind. Eyes closed or resting on a point of beauty. A flickering candle, a blooming flower. Breathe into your heart space, inhaling the vastness of connection, exhaling the illusion of separation. Affirm with soft conviction. I align with love's frequency. It flows through me as me, guiding my every step. Visualize a warm light gathering in your chest, soft pink or golden, as it resonates, expanding to fill your form, then radiating outward in gentle waves, linking you to the web of all hearts. The stranger's smile you offered yesterday, the friend's laugh echoing in memory, the quiet knowing in every being striving toward light. Stay in this attunement, letting stray fears drift like static on a radio dial. Return gently to the breath, to the light, feeling love's frequency settle like a melody you know by heart. I recall a time when disconnection static overwhelmed my signal, triggered by a year of transitions, a career pivot that felt like jumping without a net, friendships shifting like sand under waves, the world's headlines amplifying every inner doubt, until one twilight hour on a park bench, surrounded by the rustle of leaves and distant children's laughter, I chose alignment over the spiral, tuned to love. What does it say in this uncertainty? The light filled me slowly, fear's edges blurring into softness. And in that space, a single insight arose unbidden, open to the unknown. Love meets you there with gifts unseen. From that bench, alignment became my daily dial. Pauses before emails to ask love's word. Evenings reflecting on connections made. And gradually, the static faded opportunities arrived with surprising ease. Bonds deepened in vulnerability's soil, and a quiet courage bloomed where hesitation had rooted. Let's align now. In this shared stillness we've woven. If the moment allows, pause the audio or simply still your body. Feet grounded like anchors in soft earth, hands resting open in welcome. Breathe in the connection to love's vast field. Inhale for 4, drawing in the warmth of all hearts, beating in unison. Hold the fullness for 4, feeling it expand. Exhale for 6, releasing isolation's echo. Feel the light in your heart center, that soft glow pulsing. Golden, pink, whatever hue calls. Growing to envelop you, then extending in tendrils to touch the world. a loved one's face, a stranger's kindness, the earth's steady turn. Whisper or think, I align with love's frequency. It guides me now, in 2025 and beyond. Linger for 30 seconds or a minute if the resonance pulls. Notice the softening around your edges, the hum of belonging rising like a shared song. That's Wave 3's luminous embrace. The static quiets, not by silencing it forcefully, but by tuning to a stronger signal. Love's melody drowning out fear's discord with harmonious truth. Let's deepen this a bit more, exploring the nuances of alignment, because it's not a one-time retuning, but a daily dance, especially when life's static swells with distractions and demands that pull you off frequency. Reflect on a time when disconnection amplified the noise, perhaps scrolling feeds that stirred comparison's buzz, or overcommitting to IS when your heart longed for No's quiet harmony. What if a breath of alignment had shifted the dial? Journal if it resonates. When I align with love, the frequency feels like hum blank, and it invites Kai blank into my 2025. Over time, this builds an inner radio of sorts. Affirmations at dawn to set the tone. Evening reflections on love's notes played that day. Turning alignment from practice to presence. Fear from dominant station to faint interference that fades in love's broadcast. In that park twilight, alignment led to unexpected harmonies. A stranger's shared story sparked collaboration. Ideas flowed unscrambled. Rest came as a duet with the night's quiet. You're tuning now, with every breath dialing to love's song. Who's sensing the harmony? Comment below if a note arose. My love frequency, blank. Your melody joins ours, creating a symphony of courage for the year ahead. As hearts sync in this shared rhythm, space opens for Wave 4, where compassion becomes the bridge love builds. As alignment's melody hums through you like a current finding its channel, carrying fear's static further downstream, we step with open-hearted curiosity into Wave 40, act from compassion. Meet fear with kindness, choosing love's response over reaction, turning moments of tension into bridges of understanding that connect rather than divide. This way is the hands-on expression of love's frequency, the bridge from inner attunement to outer impact, because fear reacts in isolation, snapping back, withdrawing, building walls to protect, while compassion pauses, sees the shared humanity in the fray, and chooses kindness as the response that heals not just you, but the other, dissolving barriers with a touch softer than force ever could. It's not about ignoring fear's sting or pretending harm didn't land. It's acknowledging it. This hurts, and that's valid. Then asking, what would love do here for me and them? Perhaps a breath before words, a listening ear without defense, a gesture that says, I see you in your fear too. Compassion acts as love's ambassador, recognizing that fear's grip on another is often a mirror of our own. And in choosing kindness, we free both sides, creating ripples of connection that fear's division could never forge. I remember a time when fear's reaction ruled my interactions, triggered by a year of guarded hearts, a betrayal that left trust bruised, conversations that turned sharp under stress, the world's headlines fueling a cycle of me first survival, until one rainy afternoon in a coffee shop, mid-argument with a friend over something small but loaded, I chose compassion over the knee-jerk defense. Fears making me lash out. Breathe, see their side. Instead of "you're wrong," I said, "I hear you're hurt. Let's find understanding together." The air shifted. The wall crumbled. Tears came not in anger, but release. And from that bridge, our bond deepened, stronger for the vulnerability. That choice became a practice, pausing in triggers to ask compassion's way. And gradually, fear's reactions gave way to love's responses. Conflicts became conversations. Strangers' smiles sparked stories. And a quiet confidence grew in knowing kindness is strength, not weakness. Let's act from compassion now, bringing this way alive in a simple moment. If you're with someone or can imagine a recent tension, breathe into your heart. Inhale the shared light between you. Exhale fear's separation. Ask softly, what compassionate act calls here? A word of empathy, a listening pause, a small gesture of care. Feel the warmth spreading, the bridge forming. Stay with it for 30 seconds, noticing how the energy shifts from contraction to connection. That's Way 4's beautiful power. Compassion as love's action, turning fear's divides into unity's embrace. Let's deepen this a touch, uncovering the layers of compassionate action. Because it's not always instinctive. The mind whispers they don't deserve it, or protect yourself first. That's fear's last echo, guarding the heart from perceived threat. Reflect on a time when kindness bridged a gap, perhaps a heated exchange softened by your understanding ear, or a self-judgment eased by a gentle word. What if compassion was the default? Journal if it calls. Acting from compassion in hey situation feels like blank, and it builds high blank in my 2025. Over days, this weaves a habit. Daily acts like smiling at a stranger, forgiving a mistake with grace, offering help without tally, turning compassion from effort to essence, fear from divider to teacher, that love absorbs and transforms. In that coffee shop rain, compassion led to unexpected graces. The friend became ally, opportunities arose from open dialogues, and a lightness settled where tension had camped. You're acting now with every choice to bridge. Who's feeling the warmth? Comment below if compassion stirred. My compassionate act blank. Your kindness links us, creating a web of love for the year. As bridges form and connections glow, Way 5 invites us to embody the fearless joy that makes love our way of being. As compassion's bridges span the gaps fear once widened, creating a web of connection that holds us all a little steadier, we arrive at the radiant culmination of our path. 50. Embody fearless joy. Live love as your default rhythm, infusing every moment with the joy that fear can't touch. Turning 2025 from a year of enduring to one of thriving in love's fearless embrace. This way is the full flowering, the living of what we've uncovered, not a distant aspiration to reach when fear is gone, but a conscious, joyful choice in the now, retraining heart and habit to meet life from love's expansive frequency, where joy bubbles up unbidden, shared freely because there's an ocean of it within. Embodying fearless joy means choosing it in the crucibles, the laugh offered in awkward silence, the bold step into unknown with a smile, the gratitude voiced amid uncertainty that says love leads and that's enough. It's the art of being the joy in the room, the light that draws others near, allowing your presence to uplift not just yourself, but the collective, creating ripples of delight that fear's shadows could never cast. Joy embodied asks for practice, for the playful repetition that builds new pathways, neural grooves worn smooth by delight, until love feels natural, fear a faint echo rather than the lead singer. I remember a time when fear's embodiment ruled, hesitant in risks, guarded in joys. 2024, a year of safe choices that left me competent but colorless, until I committed to this way. In this moment, I choose joy as love's expression. It started small, a dance in the kitchen to favorite music, a compliment given without calculation. And gradually, the guardrails fell lighter, came easier, risks felt like adventures, my presence sparked smiles in others, turning ordinary days to celebrations. That choice became my rhythm, affirming I embody joy's fearless light in mirrors, seeking delight in the mundane. And 2025 dawned with a lightness I couldn't have forced. Connections deepened in shared mirth. Opportunities arrived with playful ease, and a quiet exuberance became my signature. Let's embody it now, bringing this way alive in your being. Stand or sit with playful ease, feet dancing lightly if it calls, shoulders rolling back like wings unfolding. Breathe into your joy center, the belly, where laughter lives. Inhale, delight's spark, filling from toes to crown. Exhale any heaviness, letting it drift like confetti on wind. Move if the spirit moves. Sway hips, clap hands, smile wide, affirming with each motion. I embody fearless joy. Love dances through me, as me. Linger for a minute, feeling the lightness lift, the world brighten around you. Notice how your energy shifts, breath quickens with glee, heart opens wide. That's Wave 5's sparkling magic. Joy not as fleeting high, but as lived reality, love's fearless song. Let's deepen this a touch, uncovering the nuances of embodied joy. Because it's not always spontaneous, the mind quips joy in this mess. That's fear's last jest, fearing delight more than the known somber. Reflect on a time when joy bridged fear. Perhaps a spontaneous laugh in tension, or a bold ice that bloomed delight. What if joy was the default? Journal if it calls. Embodying joy in situation feels like he blank, and it invites she blank into my 2025. Over days, this weaves a habit. Daily delights like savoring a sunset, sharing a silly story, creating without critique, turning embodiment from intention to instinct, fear from lead to harmony in love's orchestra. In that season of guards, embodiment led to unexpected symphonies. Laughter echoed in gatherings. Risks bloomed into rewards, and a buoyant spirit became my gift to the world. You're embodying now, with every choice to dance. Who's feeling the spark? Comment below if joy stirred. Embodying joy as blank. Your delight links us, creating a chorus of love for the year. As joy's rhythm pulses, the path circles complete. Friends, we've journeyed deep into this sacred space. From awareness's lantern, spotting fear's entry, to surrender's exhale, loosening its hold, alignment's melody tuning to love's frequency, compassion's bridge connecting hearts, and embodiment's dance making joy your fearless way. You've spotted, surrendered, aligned, acted, and embodied. Love now your compass for 2025. Fear a shadow that passes rather than possesses. Carry these ways like a melody you hum through days. Spot with awareness, surrender with trust, align with heart, act with kindness, embody with joy. Revisit in mornings of intention or evenings of gratitude, letting them evolve as the year unfolds. Love isn't fragile, it's fierce, infinite, your essence calling you to live boldly. If this sparked courage in your soul, a flutter of joy amid fear's echo, smash that like to claim your fearless light. Subscribe for more paths to heart-led living. And comment your top way, +1 love choice for 2025, whether a compassionate act or joyful step. Share this with a friend gripped by fear's chill. Your warmth could thaw their threshold. You're not alone. We're choosing love together, step by radiant step. Namaste, and remember, love always wins. See you in the flow.